He's actually had about a 4-game run here where he's just been off. He's shooting under 25% from three over his last 4 games, but there's no doubt Steph's struggling. And it's surprising because the 3-point line is a foot closer in the corners and 3 feet closer at the top of the key. You'd think that Curry would dominate this.
That was basically everyone's concern for Team USA, as Steph Curry couldn't find the bottom of the net in his very first Olympic appearance. And that concern has turned to trashing because many people on social media think that LeBron and KD were just the ones carrying Team USA to another gold medal, while Steph was just freeloading, bricking shots left and right. But just as people were starting to lose hope in Steph, the greatest shooter on the planet turned things around by having back-to-back clutch performances that will go down in the history books. Time and time again, history tells us that betting against Steph Curry is never a good idea.
Steph on the overplay. Steph with the steal and the save. Ricochet to DiVincenzo. Push ahead Curry. The step around.
And in this video, we'll dive deep into Steph's last 2 games in the Olympics and talk about how he proved the entire world wrong. There were already warning signs that Steph didn't fit quite well in this super stacked lineup. I mean, against Australia in the USA Basketball Showcase, Steph only scored 3 points on 1 out of 6 shooting. And although he had a solid bounce-back game versus Serbia in Abu Dhabi, where he dropped 24 points, Steph would suffer another major shooting slump once again, shooting just 3 of 9 from distance and finishing with only 12 points in a game where they almost got embarrassed by South Sudan. Which was followed by another subpar shooting night against Germany, as he only hit 1 out of 7 shots from beyond the arc to close out the series of exhibition games for Team USA. Now, even though this was the case, many people were still not that alarmed by the situation, because they knew that Steph had moments like this where he would just go cold for a stretch of games before going nuclear on his opponents to lay them out in the end. So, to put it simply, this was just a normal occurrence for Steph, so to speak, and something not to worry about. Anyway, after sweeping their tune-up games, it was time to get down and dirty with the real thing. And in their first game versus Serbia, Steph had a decent game, finishing with 12 points on 3 of 7 shooting. Everyone thought Steph was just revving up with that kind of performance, but in the next couple of games, particularly against South Sudan, Puerto Rico, and Brazil, people began to really worry about Steph because in those 3 games, he only scored 18 points combined while shooting just 2 of 13 from the much shorter 3-point line. Now, one of the main reasons why he struggled so badly was because he wasn't used to getting fewer touches than what he's having in the NBA. I mean, Steph can, at times, be a streaky shooter who needs the ball in his hands to get going, but because of the limited touches that he was receiving due to the insane level of talent he was surrounded with, Curry struggled to find his rhythm, which was why he just settled to be a spot-up shooter while LeBron quarterbacked the team and KD handled the scoring duties. Anyway, with 2 games left in the tournament, Steve Kerr knew that he needed his golden boy to explode for them to take home the gold, and started by hitting warm-up mid-range J's such as this one. Then, he hit this wide-open 3 on top of the Joker, and at that moment, you could feel that he's starting to heat up, and when he's starting to get comfortable, that's where the chef gets really dangerous. Curry just went unhinged in the first quarter, splashing down 4 triples to rack up 17 points in the opening frame. However, despite Steph's explosion, Team USA found themselves down as many as 17 points in the first half. The Serbians were handing it to the US, and there was actually a time where I thought they could really upset them because Jokic and his crew always had a response to whatever the US threw at them. But just when they would try to pull away, Steph would inch the US closer by hitting timely baskets to keep them in the game. I mean, he just toyed with his defender here before calmly sinking another triple. And here, he just knocked down a simple catch-and-shoot three to cut the lead to single digits. The USA continued to trim down the margin in the fourth, and when they needed someone to put them on top, Steph came to. When it was all said and done, Steph delivered a game-high 36 points and set a tournament high with 9 made threes to help Team USA advance to the next round. Now, in the gold medal round against the home crowd favorite, France, Steph once again stole the show while setting the tone early with smooth and silky dimes like these. Despite not scoring that much in the first quarter, Steph got everyone involved by setting up his teammates, and after being a facilitator, he got back to his old ways and just started to light people up. I mean, here's Steph splashing a wide open three after Booker swings the ball back to him. And how about this? With a 7'4" Wembanyama closing out on him, Steph launched a high arcing three over the long and outstretched arms of Wemby, which trickled in. Now, just like the Serbians, the French hung tough despite playing catch-up for most parts of the game. But every time they would rally, Team USA would always have an answer in the form of Steph Curry. Though Steph was in the zone, France managed to cut the lead down to 3 to make it a game. Tensions were running high for both teams, especially for Team USA, who hadn't lost since the 2008 Beijing Olympics. And in a team filled with super scorers and superstars, Team USA went to Steph to put the game to bed. And let's just say that the chef responded by going to another level. Steph went God mode in the last 3 minutes of the game, sinking 4 clutch three-pointers to end the night with 24 points, 8 threes, and more importantly, a gold medal around his neck. His back-to-back masterclass performances against Serbia and France will definitely be remembered for generations to come. And I'm sure as hell that they will also serve as a reminder to everyone that if you doubt Steph Curry or count him out, he'll definitely prove you wrong sooner than later.